Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. Bulls held their gains and kept control yet again, third day in a row on this bounce. We do have a double top at the all-time high on QQQ. We'll see if the tech sector sees any further weakness from here. Certainly no sign of the bears today.
Introducing the Chart Guys Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
Looking at the candle today on SPY, we can see it is still a bullish day, but the bulls appear to be running out of a little bit of steam. The all-time high 385.85 resistance is right there. It's the only resistance that we have at this point. And if we see any kind of bear follow through tomorrow, we would have to break the low of today, 380.48, and then there's tons of space for a daily higher low to form, anything above 368.27. So pretty much just the all-time high in play here. The end of the day today, very similar to the end of yesterday. Just a little hourly consolidation. And we'll see if overnight we get any bear follow through. Otherwise, pretty much just sideways over the last bunch of hours. Looking at it on the S&P 500 futures chart, we can see that range. And the low of today is that lower wick on the 4-hour time frame. EMA support is catching up, and the bulls will certainly take sideways trading, cooling off RSI levels. And the 12-hour time frame is a potential bull flag at this point. There's just no sign of any bears at all this week. It was notable that QQQ did top out with a double top at the high, the all-time high. So that's one thing to be keeping an eye on tomorrow, 330.32. And we can see we rejected from that level first thing, and then it was profit taking all day, and we closed at the low of the day. And it's notable because we are now through most of the tech sector earnings, and Amazon and Google were bullish. And if we cannot see a new all-time high on those bullish reactions, then perhaps some people saying, what's it going to take? And they're exiting as a result. That being said, after hours, we have some news from Apple. Apple is investing in Kia and maybe Hyundai. I didn't fully read the article, but Apple Car stuff. And obviously, Apple is responding bullish to that and breaking the recent high of the bounce attempt at 136.31, which is notable because Apple weakness stood out today. So the after hours news obviously helping those bulls from a lackluster day otherwise. IWM, so daily time frame, again, lower wicks, bulls buying the dip. We're just looking at the all-time high 217.91 resistance. We would have to fail that level and break the low of today for a daily lower high to be set, and then a tightening daily range where we would then look for a higher low compared to 204.84. So most names keeping their eye on the all-time high. Amazon, profit taking all day today on its bullish earnings reaction, and we're going to be watching for a daily higher low compared to 31.84, and Google, a much more significant bullish reaction, gap up to all-time highs, but indecision candle. Healthcare sector. Looks like my drawings from yesterday are still in play. So we were watching that key resistance. We rejected from that resistance yesterday, breaking the low of today, or the low of yesterday, today, and now it's all about the low of 114.05. If 114.05 breaks, we confirm a daily downtrend, and we zoom out, and that weekly consolidation then becomes perhaps a bit more significant. The EMA 12 will still be right there, and it would be notable if we were to lose that EMA 12 for the first time in 3 months, but have to break 104 first. The healthcare sector was the weakest sector. It's actually 114, not 104. Healthcare was the weakest of our major sectors today on its pullback. Financial sector, strong. Strong yesterday, strong today, closing up at the high. And there was a period this morning where all three of our major sectors were on the verge of breaking the low of the day. And within the first 15 minutes of trading, that was going to dictate the momentum on the morning. XLV was at the low of the day. QQQ was bouncing around a bit, but near its low. And XLF held strong. So we knew that it wasn't going to be any kind of significant down day. If we're not seeing all three of our major sectors at the lows at the same time. We did see two sectors, QQQ and XLV, which is why SPY did pull back at one point. But overall, XLF was the bull of the three today. So looking at 30.28 resistance And then again, bigger picture, we're watching for a lower high compared to 31.62, and it's then up to the bulls to confirm a daily trend change to convincingly set the weekly higher low, and they are certainly giving themselves lots of space to set that daily higher low once we top out. Biotech sector, new all-time high today, but also seeing some profit taking. Hourly time frame, we would have to break 160.56, the low of today, to confirm the hourly downtrend. And if we were to see that happen, we zoom out, we scout a daily higher low, anything above 148.88. I don't know if you can see my laptop keeps charging and uncharging. I'm using a charger that is not the norm. It's an away game today, not at my home base. SMH. So we opened above the high of yesterday, but just like the tech sector, which it's certainly more correlated to than other sectors, bears in control all day, closing at the low. And we're now watching for a daily higher low to try and form compared to 225.57. The bulls have to confirm the uptrend back in their favor with a daily higher low and higher high if we are going to have confidence that the weekly higher low has been set. TAN for the solar sector, tightening up. So we're looking at anything under 125.98 as a daily lower high, but we know if the bears are going to prove anything to us, we would have to then break 106.81 to confirm a daily downtrend. Otherwise, it's a tightening range. Low, high, double bottom, and anything under 126, just a lower high at this point. MSOS, all-time high today. So the MJ sector is on absolute fire. Does look like a little bit of a climax, volume climax, and there was a race to the exit at the end of the day. A lack of liquidity led to a big sell-off as people definitely were market selling a bit. But overall, to fully recover to a higher high is obviously very bullish, and we're now going to look for a daily higher low on any consolidation compared to 40.33. And the Canadian MJ names were on absolute fire, whether it was APHA or CGC. Just the last week and a half of trading has been all bulls. And if you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know I'm big into the MJ sector and big into the crypto sector, and they are both extremely bullish at the same time, and I am overwhelmed. Looking at the VIX, so the VIX just falling off a cliff, closing at the lows, that bounce. We're staying unplugged here. So that bounce, very short-lived, and now we're looking back down at 2110 again. Just not seeing any follow through. One day, great big bull day, but one day is not enough. One day and then 4 days of pullback. One day, 4 days of pullback. One day, held on for a little bit, but in the end, 4 days of pullback. No follow through. The dollar is getting a little bit of follow through. We're watching the 4-hour uptrend. If it is lost and we see a bear break of 90.98, losing the 4-hour uptrend, we zoom out, scout a daily higher low. And for me, anything above 90.04, I would consider a daily higher low. So we're watching that daily uptrend for indications as to when the weekly top of the bounce has been set. Gold bulls are not proving anything. The 4-hour time frame had a 4-hour trend change setup. We failed, and then we came down and tested support and held. So still range bound. We have to see a break of 1845 to shift short-term momentum back to the bulls. Silver is also extremely tight. Hourly time frame, this equilibrium was just all day. Where we have our low of the pullback yesterday, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. Broke support by 1/10 of a penny with zero follow through into a bounce. Resistance is 26.987, and we are just extremely tight. So attempting a 4-hour trend change, but this hourly equilibrium has to break bullish for that to take place. And if it does, daily higher low is set, and we then scout a daily lower high, anything under 30.14. Still in my silver swing position because it is based on the monthly time frame, and we are in uptrends on every time frame that I care about. Miners, still looking for a daily higher low to try and form pretty much the same day yesterday as today as far as the range is concerned. So this inside bar would have to break bullish for our daily higher low to be set. Aggressive bulls are playing off of 33.63 support. Obviously, if the metals were to break bearish on the 4-hour time frame, then that would not be a good bullish entry on the miners. But if gold and silver are able to change their 4-hour trends, that will likely give us a miners daily higher low. Then it's up to 36.28 and 36.32 to break. to confirm a trend change. I hope you're appreciating how good my straight horizontal lines have gotten as I've used them more and more. Oil. So bull break on oil is getting follow through. The 4-hour uptrend is our guide and it's remaining strong. We can even watch the hourly. The hourly just bounced off the EMA 12. That EMA 12 has been the guide for the bulls this entire leg up. If we were to fail 56.33 here and drop down and break 55.54, that would confirm an hourly downtrend, which would mean zoom out, scout a 4-hour higher low, anything above 54.58. Jinxed myself. 54.58. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend, we zoom out, we scout a daily higher low, anything above 51.64. So hopefully the zoom out game that I talk about all the time in my crypto videos is starting to click. And if it's not, stick with it because it will eventually. But it's just a big fractal of one time frame to the next. Natural gas, pretty big pullback at this point, but anything above 2556 is a daily higher low. So bulls have plenty of space to work with to maintain the daily uptrend. Bulls need a 4-hour trend change back in their favor. It's a clear 4-hour downtrend at this point, and we need a clear 4-hour higher low and higher high to change that trend and get a daily higher low set. So I'm going to be watching QQQ real close tomorrow just because, again, that double top of the all-time high and the close at the low of the day is very notable to me. We would need a ton of bear follow-through for it to mean anything, but it's something to keep a close eye on. Other than that, again, bears just non-existent this week after being very prevalent last week. A night and day difference. Today I was focused on APHA day trading, and here's a good example of being wrong, but not letting it ruin my day. So I was live streaming and looking at a short after the big bull moved to the upside. So, big bull moved to the upside, pull back. I was watching a 2-minute time frame tightening up on an equilibrium, and then I was watching a 5-minute time frame. And what I did, I was flipping it a lot. I ended up with, 5 orders of buying and selling. But essentially what I was doing is entering a short, covered a little bit of my position, lower high, entered another short. I can't remember exactly what my orders were, but I positioned myself at a point where I put my stop over the high of the day, and my stop was at 16.51. I gave some decent wiggle room. And if that level was hit, I would be break even on my short attempt. And the reason I was able to put myself in a break-even position was because we did get solid pullbacks here. I mean, this is a 3 to 4% pullback, so I was flipping and exiting partial positions and just getting comfortable. And the reason I was looking short on such a strong name is because we had not seen hourly consolidation in a very long time, and the bulls were extremely extended. And that is right there. So no hourly consolidation yesterday and started today with another couple hours up. So I was looking for weakness into hourly consolidation, and we just obviously didn't get it. So I stopped out, pretty much break even. And the way that I could approach that, again, psychology is so important because I could approach that 2 ways. I could say, I could get really upset and ruin my day and ruin my trading day, make the mistake, and then count the money that I could have made if I had gone long, because we did see very significant follow through from that bull break. We could have seen a 5% move to the upside. Instead, what I did was accepted, okay, I put myself in a position where I could have had a multi-day maker if the bears followed through. And if I'm wrong, it's break even. So I like my risk management. I left money on the table by looking in the wrong direction. Absolutely. But I ended up patiently waiting for the trade to come to me. So rather than getting upset or rather than revenge trading or, trying to chase bullish or anything like that, just said, okay, stopped out, wait for the next clear setup. The next clear setup for me was when this pullback started. It's a waterfall drop from the high of the day. We're not likely to see 5-minute oversold conditions. I love the back burner trade, first 5-minute oversold conditions after a big bull move. It's not likely to go from 5-minute RSI, it's at 80, to drop down to 30. So I knew that I was looking for a higher low on a different time frame. So I looked at the 15-minute. I said, okay, 15-minute EMA 12 support looking for a higher low is right in the 1650s. And I posted in the chat room watching EMA 12 15-minute time frame in the 1650s for a potential entry. And the 2-minute time frame at that point was a waterfall, which again is what I want to see for the harder the drop, The bigger the waterfall, the bigger the V-shaped bounce usually. So getting to 2-minute oversold conditions right on that EMA was the entry I was looking for. And I went pretty aggressive. I market bought and got filled at 16.55. I would have entered one more down at maybe 16.20 if we kept dropping. And why it was aggressive is rather than using my half position and then a half position, my 16.55 entry was a full position and would have gone to a double full position if we had just waterfall dropped all the way back down towards the low of the day. So it ended up being a good entry, and from there, how I managed it, so in at 16.55, and I was watching the 1 minute time frame because it was, again, it's very liquid. That's another reason why I entered a full position initially, because its liquidity and its dollar volume is through the roof. So I am a lot more comfortable trading large positions when that is the case. So I made this entry, I saw the bounce, I knew that I was home free as far as worst case scenario, break even again. I exited half of the position on this initial bounce because it was a very quick day maker. A day maker for me would have been 16.55 to 16.75. So when we got up to 16.71 on the first 1 minute candle, I sold half. And that puts me in the driver's seat for the trade because at that point I had a 16-cent gain. So my break even would have been 16.39. I then watched this 1 minute consolidation and I got right back in where I sold. So I sold half at 16.71. I re-entered that half pretty much at 16.70, maybe a penny lower. We then changed the 1 minute trend, showing me that we have bounce follow through now. And I exited the rest of the position in the 1680s for a day and a half maker. So I was wrong. I stopped out. Fortunately, it was break even. And again, rather than getting flustered or rather than having that set the tone of my day, I just waited for the day and a half maker opportunity to come to me, and it worked out well. So left money on the table, could have been better, but always happy to salvage what I can. And that was my trading day. So I hope you're well, do good things. We'll check back in tomorrow. Appreciate you bearing with me.